beautiful people. Welcome to today's session of your lovely show, Voices with Cla. Today, it's another awesome day when you will be edified and educated on something I love so very much. I am not going to waste your time because today we have a lot in store. But before I introduce the topic and the person who will be breaking it down for us, I want us to take a very short break. Welcome back, guys. Before we took that short break, I told you we'll be talking about something awesome. Again, you will be edified. I can promise you that. Today on set, we have somebody who, of course, I respect a lot because what? He fears God so much. He is Pastor Segun. Hi, Pastor Segun.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So it's having me again.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We feel blessed having you because each time we have you, we know we will go home loaded.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
great.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, guys, today we will be talking about love. Yeah, I feel it. The way you felt it go through your spine. That's just the way I feel it right now. So amongst the topics we had, we decided to pick love. And we have a love master in the house. Trust me. See, when I say love master, this is a love master. So we will be asking him our usual questions. And guys, do not go anywhere because you have a lot to learn to fix that relationship you've been struggling with, to work on that shortage you have been facing in your life, to fill that gap you have been struggling to get information about. So, Pastor Segun, what does love mean, like in a general perspective?
Well, love is a special feeling you have for someone. It could be anyone. It could be your spouse. It could be somebody you're in a relationship with. It could be a favorite family member. So love is something, affectionate is something you feel specially for a particular person.
Okay.
So basically, love is something that you don't have for everyone. You can like everyone, but you cannot love everyone.
Oh, I like that part.
So love is something that is specific, is personal. You have a particular reason why you love someone. So it's I want to say it's a personal feeling you have for somebody who you have some feelings for, or affectionate for.
Right. So in the course of the research, right, someone said you cannot, like, someone said that thing that exists between a man and a woman, that eros love, is not love. It's like he thinks that love can only exist between a father and maybe a mother, like that love a mother has for the child that she can lay down her life for. He says that's the only time he thinks it's love, but anything out of that is light because you are in that relationship with the opposite sex because the person gives you something and you give back something in return. What do you think about that?
Well, it's kind of funny that is what is mostly happening now. Eros love is the kind of love that you have for somebody because of what you want to get back from that person. You love that person because the person is beautiful. You love that person because that person has a particular shape or size, and because of a benefit you require from that person. So that's unfortunately, that's kind of love we see everywhere. It's difficult to find a genuine and sincere love these days. So the kind of love we have between the mother and the son is what we call the genuine love. A mother will not want anything harm to happen to his son, and vice versa. So is like I said, it's just we are going into a realm whereby we have to try as much as possible to let people know that you have to love people unconditionally. Eros love is you don't have to love somebody because of what you want to get out of that person, but you're just loving unconditionally. That was the kind of love Jesus had. He came to die for us irrespective of our shortcomings, our shortfalls. He still came and died for us. So that's kind of love we as Christians and people around us should have. Not eros love when you know that you have to get something, in return.
Okay. So no, we talked about love, but right now we will be focusing on eros love.
Okay.
So let's jump into the real thing now. How do you know you are in love with someone?
Wow. Sometimes or most times, one of the reasons you is kind of you find it difficult to let go of thinking about that person. that person comes into your mind almost every time. You're sleeping, sometimes some people say, I dreamt about you. Sometimes you think about that person. In the whole day, you have 24 hours in a day. You kind of think about that person. You kind of want to talk to that person. You kind of look forward to spending quality time with that person. Then something tells you you're in love. Something tells you you're attracted to this person emotionally. When you cannot do without a person in the day, when you just want to spend time with that person, you want to just hear his voice. Sometimes you just call the person and you guys have finished discussion. And after like 5 or 10 minutes, you call the person back. And hello, excuse me, we just finished speaking.
I know.
But you realize that you're calling about. So sometimes it has to do with you being emotionally attached to that person. You can't do in a day in 24 hours without reaching out to that person. Then you should know that you love. When that person's, your mentality is all about that person. You want to spend much time, quality time with that person. You want to see that person almost every time. Then you know you're in love with that person.
Okay. So, do you think love at first sight, or what is your impression about love at first sight?
Sometimes it happens. I don't want us to be over spiritual. Sometimes you see a lady for the first time and you like that lady. Sometimes it grows. For me, when I met my wife, it was love at first sight.
Oh.
I was back home in Nigeria and I went to a school to do my master's project. And I just saw her on the road walking down with a friend. And I was walking that side by side with my friend. I was saying that I like that lady. When I see her again, I think I'm going to approach her. And we just passed each other. I didn't have the confidence to. I'm not that kind of person that approaches ladies on the street, But coincidentally, while we were strolling back home, I met her again the second time. So that was the nudge. That was the fact. I said, no, I have to just talk to her. Because I was just attracted to her the first time. It might not be really love, it might be attraction. Okay? So, we know the story today. So, love at first sight matters sometimes. It occurs sometimes, not necessarily every time.
Right.
You might see somebody and just like that person. You cannot easily fall in love with somebody on the first note because you don't really know that person.
Right.
But sometimes it has to do with attraction. Most people call attraction love. You see a person, I just like this lady. Or you see this guy, I just like this guy, he's handsome, it's my spec. But you don't really love him. You're just attracted. So love at first sight varies.
Right.
Necessarily might not be love, but you're attracted to that person. And eventually when you get to meet that person, you guys talk, chat, and gist, then the love develops. Because love is not something that just erupts like that.
That's right.
It's gradual.
So, what do you expect to see in someone who says, I am in love with this person? Or, in other words, what are the characteristics of love?
Well, like I said, characteristics of love is when you are just, number one, attraction comes in. You're attracted to that person. Then characteristics of love is that behavioral pattern. There are some behaviors you see somebody exhibiting that you just fall in love. You cannot that's why you always say that one man's mate is another man's poison. Sometimes you like a lady for some certain things she does. For some people, they believe, no, this is outrageous. But to you, because you like the behavioral pattern of that person, you fall in love. How some people smile, how they talk, how they relate with people, how they crack jokes. I've seen a couple that I married her because she loves how to crack jokes. So there's a lot of attraction, involved when you say, okay, this is when I know that I love this person. And like I said earlier on, there are so many times when you just want to get off that person, you can't just fathom it. You just want to always be with this person, then you know you're in love. There are so many reasons why you cannot be in love. Number one, I said you have to be close to the person to know most things about the person. And once you know the characteristics of that person, for some people, they say, I like a tall, handsome, cute guy. So when you meet that kind of guy, somehow you want to get involved. You want to get interested, and love erupts like that. So it's varies for different people.
And how can you, looking at the couple, how can you actually say, okay, yeah, truly this one loves this woman? What are some of those things A or B has to know that if you love your partner, there are some of these things you must do? Like, what are some of those must do?
Yes, number one, respect. I can really tell when I see couples or people who are in a relationship, I can easily tell if they love each other, if they respect each other. You can't respect your spouse and yelling at her or yelling at him in public. People see the stuff like that and say, no, this is not love. Love is accommodating. Love is assumed. You can only express love when you love that person unconditionally. So it's so easy to always identify couples who are in love. The way they hold hands, these days people don't hold hands.
I know.
You see our new president now, President Joe Biden. Even at that age, look at how he holds his wife.
I know.
While going to the aircraft and all that. You know, this was a different thing some time ago. So there are so many characteristics: holding of hands, hugging, kissing, smiling at each other, going out together. You say you love someone, you don't take the person out. You want to go to parties, they always see you alone. Where's your partner? Oh, she's at home, she's somewhere else. You're not proud of showing off, you're not proud of going to parties with her and all that. So these are the things when you're seen every time together in public, they see you not yelling at each other, they see you respecting each other, they see you compliment each other every time. Most of the time when there are couple gifts and everything, you're always invited. Those are the good signs when two people are in love. You see that they are almost, not that they don't quarrel,
of course,
not that they don't fight or have understandings, but you see them always knitted together. It's so difficult for you to separate each other, and then you try to assume and ascertain that these people are truly in love.
Right. So as now, this one is like what we see and all of that. But personally, what are some of those things you can do to your partner? I mean, that makes her feel like, okay, you know what, this is him. He loves me. He's doing this. Out there, people see you and all of that, yeah. But what are some of those things?
Yeah, number one, you have to respect your partner. If you respect her, she respects you. If you love her, she knows. You see, these days you cannot just deceive any lady or deceive a guy. When you respect a lady, the lady loves you back. When you treat a lady nicely or your spouse nicely, they feel appreciated. They know you love them. Okay, take for instance, there's a lot of stuff that has to be involved in relationships. I've seen a lot of relationships, marriages crash because you don't just value your partner. Right. A lady called me some time ago and said, do you know this is the 5th year or 6th I've been with this guy, and never for once have they gone out for dinner. So little things like that, you say it doesn't matter, but it matters. When she sees other friends, and her friends, cousins, their partners, treat them nicely, they go out on dates, they go for dinner, and you're telling your husband or your spouse or your partner, hey, let's go for dinner. Saying, no, let's sit down at home and everything. Every time for 4 or 5 years. Number 2, vacation. When you say you love with somebody, go on vacation. Once in a while, just go out of the houses of your home, go somewhere, relax. There's so many things involved in vacation. You try to redefine and rediscover yourselves. You kind to talk about a lot of things. Then the lady or the guy knows this guy is in love. And creating time. Right. You might be, I know we're in a country whereby time is money. We always want to hustle and make money, pay bills and everything. But even in the midst of that, create time. Women love time. If you don't have time for a lady, she knows just there and then that you don't love her. So even out of your busy schedule, create time for your woman. Create time for your partner. Always eat together. Sometimes couples don't eat together. You see, those little things, we are not, this past mentality that we're Africans doesn't really mean that you shouldn't be romantic. Eat together. Some people bathe together. Some couples bathe together. These are the symptoms. When the lady is not even around, you're not around the lady. He thinks about you, he wants to be with you, he's looking forward to being with her husband or being with her spouse or partner. So a lot of things are involved in, displaying your affection, displaying your love. And the lady sits down and tells her friends that, you know what, this guy loves me. And they begin to ask, how? And she begins to narrate. He likes me, respects me, he takes me out, he buys me stuff, he treats me with respect, a lot of stuff. So those are the reasons why, you could sit down confidently and say, this guy or this woman loves me.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Mommy is a happy woman. I feel it, I see it. It's just flowing. So thank you so much for that. So what are some ways you can show interest in the things that are valuable to your loved ones?
How you can show interest.
Yeah. Like support your partner's dreams and all that.
Oh yes, you have to. Once you know you love somebody, support their dreams and aspirations. Don't be personal. Don't be selfish. I might not like what you do, but when I know you have a passion for that, I have a friend who the spouse is into this TV acting and all that, and basically he doesn't really like such passion. But the wife has the passion as an entertainer, and all that. I had to call him. Say, see, this is your wife's passion. you need to, and that's one of the things you need to sort out before getting into a relationship. Ask her aspirations. Ask her what are the things that that she's always interested in, and then you'll be able to fashion out and navigate through life successfully. So, how one of the reasons where you can also demonstrate it is to be involved in your partner's decisions, be involved in their hopes, aspirations, and vision. Okay, you want to aspire to become a banker? Oh, support. We've seen people, women, even back home in Africa and all that, that their wives are always there. And you see that when you find out, you realize that their husbands are busy supporting them and pushing them. So it's always good for you to make sure you make a woman the kind of woman she wants to be. Don't relegate her. This is not a year whereby, or the time whereby the man has to be the head and relegate the woman. No, the woman too has a voice. She has a vision. So if a woman has a vision, you need to channel her vision rightly, support her vision, support everything she wants to do, and then she knows that yes, if I can have this kind of support from my spouse, then I'm in the right place.
Right. So this one, it's a little bit tricky, but I just need you to give. There's someone out there who is trying to make his or her partner, shake, wants to move mountains in his or her relationship. Just give us one or two tips. What are some of those things you can do for your partner that will just move them from they're on their way out, or maybe going out to meet a side chick or to meet a guy, and you just do one of those two things that will just pack them up. I mean, shock them, and they will be like, you know what, I ain't going anywhere.
Okay. Well, number one, there are a lot of things you can do, like the question to win your partner back, who is at the verge of breaking the relationship and everything. Some things that you don't do before, because you just kind of realize that the whole thing looks boring to the woman or to the man who wants to just quit the relationship.
Right.
There's so much boredom. Maybe you don't take her out. Maybe you don't celebrate her most of the time. There are a lot of things, even sexually. If you're married, there are some certain things you do that wow, and like, come on, you've not done this for a very long time. And like, yeah, I have to do that.
Right.
You're my spouse, and I have to just exhibit that character. You don't even know about it. So number one, take her out to places she's not been before. Be creative. Be surprising. Just organize a surprise party. Not necessarily mean it has to be a birthday or wedding anniversary. Just appreciate her. I've done it before several times where I just invited some friends in a nice restaurant and they were there. It wasn't a birthday, it wasn't a wedding anniversary. And they were there and we entered together and we're like, hey, and these are friends she's been for a long time. Outside Maryland, I bought a ticket, they came around, and when she saw that, she was like, come on, when did you come to Maryland? Oh, your husband did this. And she was just smiling. She was even close to tears.
Oh my God.
That ignited a little bit of fire. Because these were people she loved so much. But because of this, she thought, maybe one day I will go to California. But I had to arrange this. And it didn't cost much. So something different like that will spark up that fire. And be like, come, for him to have gone through all this, calling this my friends, my cousins, and we're together all the night. If I was one who was saying, can we just go home? So we said that. So there are certain things you need to do. Think about what things she likes. Think about her passion. Just try and know what turns her on, her interest, and then you realize that the spark is back. Even if she wants to quit, you say, when she thinks about what you've done,
I know.
I'm going anywhere.
No, I'm not going. See, God, you want weak my body finish. Please forgive me. For those who do not understand what I just said, I said this one is more than, like, the level is high. If you have never tried it before, guys, try it. Put some of these things into practice. These are little spices we are giving you. And of course, you can always ask questions to get more.
Exactly.
He will be there to help. He told me one thing. Anything I can do for the kingdom of God, I will do it. And this is one of those. Because what? The kingdom of God moves when you love.
Exactly.
So at this one, thank you, sir. It won't pass me. Hey, God. We just used to see these ones in the movies. So truth is, I'm happy someone is sitting here telling you he's not acting, he's saying it. And if you want to see it, I'm sorry, I can't give you his number. You would have seen it, but just don't worry, you'll see it one day. So now I want to find out what do you think keeps people from making this habits or practice? Why don't people practice it?
Sometimes love lost.
Mm.
I don't know what happens sometimes when you realize that you love this person and somehow along the line you stop loving the person.
Right.
So when you stop loving somebody, the things or the good things you used to do before, you stop doing them. So those are the reasons why some people just don't want to do things to make the other partner happy. Number one, infidelity.
Mm.
If you're into a lot of things, your focus is divided.
Right.
And then the things you need to do in the home or with your spouse or anything, you don't do that. So these are the things that make people just withdraw, because once, like I said, attention. The smallest girl, the smallest lady needs attention.
Yeah.
When you don't give attention, the lady sees a signal. That's a red signal. Attention. When she's talking to you and you're busy to something, that's a red signal. So there's so many things. Number one is when there's love lost. It happens. And the reason is that when you've been in a relationship for a long time, you have to keep the fire burning, do different things. You don't have to be too expensive. Go out, go to the beach, go somewhere else. Just try and make it fun. So that every day she wakes up to say that, oh, she's doing something new. It keeps the fire burning. So, but when there's the love lost is there, and you stop loving that person for one reason or the other, then you don't see these things manifesting. That person it will be so difficult for that person to express the love he or she has. And then number two, of course, infidelity. When you're with so many people, you're divided. You can't focus. So the things that is expected of you to do, you can't do them. That's one of the things. And another thing is, most of the time, I want to always say this: when you're in a relationship, always know the do's and don'ts. The things that your partner does not like. When you keep hurting them every time, again and again, the love lost goes. I don't like this, and you keep on doing that. I don't want this, and you keep on doing that. You see that person who loves you unconditionally, cooks for you, or does anything, will withdraw. You see her not doing those things again because you keep on hurting, and has come to a level whereby you know what, I'll just tolerate, maybe for the sake of people, but the love is no more there. And then you see that the things that she used to do, or the things that he used to do, doesn't do them anymore.
Man of God, thank you so much for this one. Thank you so very much for this. We will take a short break. And of course, viewers, after the break, we will continue. Take a deep breath. Voices with Cla. Welcome back, guys. We are back again to give you more on love. So, man of God, I have this one question for you.
Okay.
Just do your best to help. I need you to see me sitting here like that person who has that problem and has faced you, to say, what are those things that I can do differently to make my relationship that is breaking, work? The last thing you said was, sometimes we take people for granted because this person has always been there doing stuff for us. They keep giving us, but we just keep hitting back, and it has come to a point where we're just tolerating. What are you going to tell someone who is struggling? You have realized that this is a mistake I made, but I want to fix it. So yeah.
All right. Number one, I believe because the spiritual controls the physical. Prayers. Number one.
Okay.
Prayer moves mountains. Prayer does the impossible. I believe so much in the efficacy of prayers. Prayers is wonderful. You just realize that the person that you think cannot change, when you pray very well, and God sees that, yes, your heart is in this, He answers you and you see the positive result. So with that spouse, with that partner, pray about him or her, and you see things change. Number two, like I said, try something new. You've been rejected, you're trying to win this person back, you're trying to make sure that everything works out fine. Number one, you've prayed. Number two, your character too has to change. You see, when you cannot be doing the same thing every time and expect a different result. No, you have to change your ways, the way you appear, maybe because of your dressing. Some men want a lady to dress very well, smell nice and all that. So, but maybe you are just too complacent, you believe, because I've had him, How she's for me, and then you begin to relax on some certain things.
Right.
So please step up your game.
Right.
Look nice, look attractive, look new. Let him see somebody new. Afraid. A man comes home, wants to see a woman who is beautiful. Even though you've not had your bath in the morning, even though he knows you've been in the house this morning, you want to see a woman who is alluring. Because guess what? He's been out there seeing a lot of girls. In the office, wherever he has been to. He wants also to come home to see a woman who is attractive. So don't say because you've been in that relationship, oh, what's happening? The guy is not making me happy anymore and all that. Step up your game. The things you never used to do before, do the again. Be more attentive. Listen more. Ask this person, what are the things that I do that you don't like? Because sometimes dialogue matters a lot. You can't just want to make a change without sitting down and dialoguing. That is one major strength of getting a positive vibe in a relationship. Talk about it. Discuss. What are the things that I do that you don't like? And then you see the guy or the lady coming out. Okay, these are the things you do that pisses me off. And then begin to work on that. Don't just say, oh, no. I do this because you do this. No. Listen to that partner, hear his views or her views, and then work on it. She has just told you she doesn't like this. If you continue doing that, then you get the negative vibe. So make sure you discuss, have a discussion, sit down, dialogue, and work on that. Number 3, just be creative. Like I said, creative. Some people, when you go to their homes, the chair and the table, just for example, has been there the same spot for 4 or 5 years. I like moving things around. Just change. Come on one day and see the bed changed. Come on one day see the bed sheet changed. Come on one day see something. Just be creative. So men like things like that. They don't want something to look the same every time. So please, after prayer, discuss, sit down and have a discussion and conversation. Number 3, be creative. Do something, little things turn people on. You'll be shocked that, oh, because I just did this, I'm seeing the positive in this relationship. And number 4, please make sure you fall in love again. Because even though you pray, you have to also work on yourself. Some people are just so rigid. You may not know this. Try and let go and let God, and it will be well.
Thank you, thank you. Guys, I don't know about you all, but me, I feel super blessed. Each time I have someone sit here and talk, I learn every day. I don't know. In fact, we are so grateful on behalf of myself and everyone out there. We are so grateful. Thank you so very much for touching this. To me, everything around life is surrounded by love. There's just nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's just nothing in life that is not touched by love. So this topic is one of the best topics, and I am so happy you have educated us on this. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure anytime.
Of course. So viewers, we have come to the end of this session, but of course this is not the end of it. We still have a lot more in store for you. Like I always said, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to add, send us an email, drop your comments below. We will always try to respond to you. And of course, if you need advice on anything, the people who come on set have a passion to make sure people out there are happy. They have a passion to make you grow. So they are here to edify you, educate you, entertain you. So of course, make use of that opportunity. Sometimes you need to go out there and pay for it, but this is free. Why not grab that opportunity when you have it? Thank you so much for your time. Stay blessed. Make sure you pray, and always remember, God loves you. Bye-bye.